We're with Demon head football coach Jay Thomas. The team's coming off a tough loss at Cincinnati, getting ready for a tough game at UAB. This is the middle of the two mountains in the Demon schedule that you described last week. That first mountain looked like Mount McKinley.
Yeah.
Pretty tall hill to climb.
Well, I'll tell you what, and it was. But you know what? We learned a lot about our team, and our team learned a lot in the game. And in the process of the first two games, obviously winning those games, great start by our team, played really well in a lot of phases. And then when we go and we face this first mountain in Cincinnati, I'll tell you what, they were really on point. They played a great game. I think they were really inspired. They wanted to play well after their loss to Illinois. And then, of course, losing their quarterback the way they did to the injury that he had, I think they had a little extra incentive there, and they played that way. But we learned a lot about our guys, and it's not always just X's and O's. It's other things. How do we handle the adversity now being behind? How attitude on the sideline. There's a lot of things that go into preparing and getting ready for conference play. So we've used and kind of been really nitpicky about a lot of things as a staff and myself, included, that we go back through and we rehash it. And all right, we're gonna get better at this, okay? And then it may be sideline organization, it may be how we handle ourselves attitude-wise when things are not going correctly, those type of things. All these things are going to help us and prepare us as we get ready to go into conference play. And you still got to look at it like that. It's still considered a preseason type venue. We got a tough test ahead of us this week. UAB, we've been looking at them on film. They like to run the football on offense. They're very physical on offense, so that's going to be a big test for us. We have to get better at defending the run on defense. We didn't do at times we did a good job against Cincinnati, and then at times we did not. And then we got to obviously limit the big plays on defense. We gave up too many big plays. It was missed assignments, that type of stuff. All these things are going to add in. We have to move the football. I thought that offensively against Cincinnati, Ramil Morris had a good game running the football. I thought our offensive line at times did a good job. Just get in a situation where, yeah, it is Cincinnati. And you look up there, and when you look on the wall, hey, Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, all these different bowl games they've been in, they've been a top 20 program, top 25 program for a while now. And you see why. And Coach Toverville and the staff, they did a great job, preparing their guys. But I think we'll take a lot from this. We just need to continue to move on. And now we do face the second mountain ahead of us. And may have lost some of our provisions, and we may have lost our wagon on the way up this hill. But guess what? We're still standing, and we were injury-free coming out of the game. That's always a plus, and I think our team will get better going into this next game.
All right, you're playing a UAB team that comes off an open date.
Yeah.
Talk about the luxury for them and the challenge for you.
Well, and you look at UAB, they played LSU, and so they've had some pretty tough sledding too, early on. They are going to be rested. You look at our schedule now, it's been a little bit of a grind. It was a long trip to Missouri back, very emotional week with Southern. Then again, going up to Cincinnati. All those things, take its toll on you a little bit as you're going through. I'm 52 years old. I feel it. So we just got to be really smart in how we practice and we prepare and we get ready, for this game. They're going to be fresh, so we got to do a good job making sure our guys mentally we're getting the game plan together, but also having them fresh and ready to go. And this is going to be another one of those trips. It's an 8 or 9 hour trip over, and we're going to bus there. We'll leave Thursday night. Try to give our guys every opportunity to be ready to play the game the best we can.
Schematically, UAB, I know, likes to throw the ball. Cincinnati hit you with a lot of big pass plays on Saturday night.
Yeah.
How do you address those big plays and try to be better against UAB?
Well, it's not always coverage. Sometimes it's the lack of pass rush sometimes, and tying it. Every big play, there's always something else besides just a guy covering a guy, and we got to shore those things up. You know, it was the first time our defense and our offense, we talked about it last week, you know, even in every interview that talking about our guys getting used to game speed being at a different tempo than what we were used to seeing. And it was very evident. But I think last game will help us prepare for this game, seeing that kind of speed. And, you know, we did bust some assignments. You get in those games, and our guys got to better understand. We talk about paying attention to detail. They understand you have to pay attention to detail. Because when you play a really good football team where we may have gotten by, you know, in another game, not having a hat in the right gap or not playing the technique quite correctly. Well, when you play a good football team, and UAB will be no different than Cincinnati, you have to have everything in place to have success.
All right. What makes this week a success for the Demon football team?
Well, here's number one thing. Our offense, once again, you know, we got out there last week against Cincinnati. Those guys were long, they were fast, the windows closed really fast, and you're going to look at a defense at UAB is going to be very similar. They're going to be very, very fast. And so we're going to have to be able to establish the run game, but we're also going to have to do a good job of protecting Zach. And, you know, everybody's going to look to elevate their game. But we got to be able to get first downs, got to be able to sustain drives, and we're going to have to do that again this week. Then back to defense. They like to run the football, all right, and then they're going to try to play action to hit you deep with the deep ball. We've got to be prepared for that, and we've got to do a better job totally across the board. Last week, we'd been kicking the ball really well in the first two games. All of a sudden, we're going to Cincinnati, it's a little more pressure. It was 60, 70,000 in the stands. We didn't quite hit the ball like we'd been hitting the ball. So, you know, all three phases we got to continue to get better at.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
We're here with junior receiver Bryant Mitchell, who is one of the top receivers for the Demon offense. Although Saturday was not the best day to be a guy who's a showcase performer, because Cincinnati locked in on the Demons and handed the Demons a lopsided loss. What, Bryant, does the team get out of a game like that?
I think out of a game like this, we really get experience. You know, we learn from this, and we learn to grow from this. We learn how to play through adversity, and that was an adverse game. And so from here on, we take step by step, and we move on, and we learn that as a team, there's things that we need to change, and as a team, we will get better.
I know there was a point after the game where Coach Thomas simply said, guys, they might be better than we are. I don't think they're that much better than we are. They played very well. They had a lot to prove after an embarrassing loss the week before, playing without their starting quarterback for the first time. It was a bad time to play them. But did the Demons bring their A game against Cincinnati, or was it just one of those nights where you were just overmatched?
I believe a little bit of both took part. You know, I believe we came out wanting to win this game.
Oh, no doubt.
You know, and I don't believe they were that much better than us. You know, things happened in the game, and we just didn't take the steps forward to win the game. But other than that, we played hard. We gave our effort. That's all we could do.
All right, turning the page, now you have another game against an FBS opponent. It's a UAB team that has had a week off. How do you recalibrate from a Cincinnati to a UAB in anticipating the level of opposition?
We come in with a harder mentality that we're going to win this game. We have to, from here, set the tone, come out and really let it be known that we're here to win this game.
Okay, are there specific things offensively that you guys feel like you can improve upon from last week to this week?
I can't speak for everyone, but as receivers, we can step it up all around. You know, blocking, catching, running routes more effectively. Just the small things that really matter, that translate to big games like this.
Okay, you and Zach Adkins, the quarterback, are California guys. You transferred in together, you're roommates. You're probably closer to Zach than most guys. How does a quarterback handle a game like that?
from a receiver's aspect, it takes a lot. You know, you have to really put yourself in situations mentally before you can actually go out there and do it. I mean, I believe Zach's very prepared for that.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
With junior cornerback Imoan Claiborne, the Demon football team coming off a tough loss at Cincinnati, getting ready for a game Saturday afternoon at UAB. Imoan, first let's look back at the game in Cincinnati against the Bearcats, a team that clearly has a lot of great opportunity ahead of its very talented team. They came off a tough loss at Illinois, a game they really thought they could have won, and they were whipped pretty thoroughly. They came in with a lot to prove, and they certainly looked like a highly motivated, highly talented team against the Demons. What happened? Was it just a case of the Demons being overwhelmed by a superior opponent?
I mean, it was a case of both. We knew this was a statement game for them. Being at home, they're going to have a big crowd. They just came off a loss, so, you know, looking at a D1 AA opponent, they're thinking we need to put a lot of points on these guys. But it was a mental lapse on our side, too. We had guys that didn't fill holes, didn't make tackles, and that's what we're going to focus on this week to get better at it.
As strange as it sounds, was this a good thing for the team, or could it be a good thing for the team going forward?
I mean, this can be a great thing for the team going forward. Coach T always tells us we have a rock to get over. I mean, and this is a hump. Like, either you can take it a good way or you can take it a bad way. And, you know, we have leaders on this team this year that said, hey, keep your head up. We're going to push forward and we're going to get better.
Because it's a lot like life. Things don't always go the way you hope they would in life. Tough things happen, really bad things happen, but you got to keep moving forward.
Yes, sir. I mean, what that is, either you can take it as a bad thing and take a step back, or you can keep moving forward with everything. And at my position, we didn't play our best game. So we're going to look at it as if, all right, we didn't play our best game. What can we do to get better at what we didn't do in the game? And we're going to take it into the next game and do better.
Now, at your position, a defensive back position and a cornerback position, if you make a mistake, it can often be 6 points. So it's a challenge for you guys, but it's also probably the position where you have to more quickly than any other position on defense learn how to shake it off and go to the next play. That mentality comes in handy this week, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. They're going to throw the ball downfield. They're going to look to put points on the board, meaning that we just came off a loss, so they're going to look to get back at us again. But at this position, like you said, you just got to shake it off and keep moving forward.
Now, overall, from a defensive perspective, what went better last week? Who were the guys, and what were the positions you felt like handled their business the best?
I felt like D-line really held their ground. You know, obviously they were bigger, but our DNs did a great job of getting upfield, and our D tackles did a great job of holding their ground. But we could still get better at those positions. Linebackers, I think Tyler Roussel really showed that he can fit a hole and make some tackles, and you know, it really showed on film.
All right, you go Saturday afternoon to UAB. Is this a chance to regain a little bit of that credibility and a little bit of that good feeling about the team if you can go over there and be in the game in the fourth quarter and maybe pull it out?
Oh, there'll be a big game for us. It'll really see if we are going to make that step forward or we're going to just stay complacent in where we're at. And as a team, we're looking to go forward and get the victory.